friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and huge news coming to Star Wars, and that is Robert Downey Jr. is in talks to play none other than Grand Admiral Thrawn in an upcoming Disney Plus project. Now, this is huge, guys. This is like absolutely epic, because if you know anything about Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr., then you're aware that these two men revamped, that they set the tone for what superhero movies are today, right? They pioneered the superhero movie with Iron Man. Up until that point, we had like the X-Men movies, which were fun, but I mean, they weren't what they are today. I mean, they weren't even like X-Men, crappy Deadpool X-Men, what they are today. Having Robert Downey Jr. come to Star Wars in the role of Grand Admiral Thrawn is one of the most interesting things that I've heard in a while. Now, this actually syncs really well with what we've been hearing about Thrawn. Now, if you jump back, I believe it was a few months ago in August, the LMR online, everyone was talking about how Thrawn and Ezra were going to be heading to a live-action television show. And we don't necessarily know what that show is going to be. We don't know what it's going to be about, but it's going to involve these two characters. The rumors have been going on around this for a long time. In September, Raul Coley started posting these like really random things, right? And I didn't even know who this guy was until he started posting these things. He says, "Remember, people, there's only one thing you should need to watch this October: The Mandalorian." As if we needed help, or reminding, and The Haunting of Bly Manor on October 9th. This is the way. Okay, that could just be a fan. And then you jump down, he says, "I've got into that Lothal orphan, force-sensitive, trained by Kanan Jarrus kind of shape for no particular reason." What does that even mean? And then he continues, and he's like, "Gonna hide for a while. My bad, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the day." And, like, seriously, like, look at these two pictures. I mean, this is not necessarily an image from what we believe. It's like a age-upped image, kind of like, have you seen this orphan? Kind of like milk carton image of what he could look like in the future of Ezra Bridger. You know, he says, hey, I was kidding. I was obviously part of the Star Wars fandom. Now, if he is under contract and they're not saying, hey, you can't say anything, that type of stuff would like be in breach, right? It would be a bad thing for him to do, right? But maybe he was just having fun, and I don't know. He would do a great job. But we do know that they have been like casting for Ezra. And so it makes sense that now we're starting to hear rumors that they're casting for Thrawn. Now, this is absolutely fascinating because, again, in Star Wars The Mandalorian, we have the episode with Ahsoka, and Ahsoka is up with Elsbeth, and she's like, "Where is Admiral Thrawn?" I mean, mind blown. We were all like freaking out. Like, that was like the first freak out episode of the season. Maybe not the first, but it was awesome, right? And so seeing more talk that a live action Thrawn is coming, and he's coming in the form of Robert Downey Jr., it not only, to me, makes a lot of sense, but is awesome. Now, I love Benedict Cumberbatch for the role, but if you look at the age of Grand Admiral Thrawn, having an older person, and I say that, older, having a more seasoned actor like Robert Downey Jr. play Grand Admiral Thrawn would be perfect. I mean, I've always equated Thrawn with like the Star Wars version of Sherlock Holmes, and I know that that's not necessarily a direct connection. It doesn't make it's not exactly he is or who he is, but it feels right. And RDJ played freaking Sherlock Holmes. He is a great actor. He has the poise. He has the physical capability. He could do amazing things. And 100% believe and hope that this is happening. Now, I hope that it's happening. I believe that they are in talks. Whether he's actually the final person they choose, that's anybody's guess. But it makes sense. Now, the one rumor that's been going along with this is that Ahsoka and the Mandalorian and Rangers of the New Republic all will be tied in together to kind of create a streaming version of the end of Avengers Endgame, but for this. Now, I do believe that there will be a big baddie in that story. I really hope that it's not Thrawn, seeing as how we've seen his story continue on with the new canon, the new Thrawn. And I say a new Thrawn, he's still Thrawn. He still has all the same traits and ambition and valor and cunning and ruthlessness as the Thrawn from old canon, from Legends, but there seems to be a more pragmatic approach. Now, couple that with everything we've learned from the new books, right? I don't think that necessarily Thrawn is this big ultimate baddie, but I think he's going to pave the way for the big baddie, right? The new books, the new canon is all talking about how Thrawn is trying to save the Chiss people, not from themselves, but from some greater force. Now, that's not Emperor Palpatine, because Emperor Palpatine at the time was Emperor of the Empire, not a force outside of the unknown regions, right? And so this new series, this new trilogy that is set after the new trilogy of Thrawn, focuses on Thrawn protecting himself. Now, that is set to come out on May 4th. Usually around that time, we get a ton of new information. Could this simply be the calm before the storm of reviews and news and leaks and ideas that this is coming? And I think the answer is yes. With this new book that's coming out on May the 4th, right? Thrawn, I believe it's called The Greater Good, right? Will we get a full breakdown of this is how Thrawn will fit in, right? They didn't announce a Thrawn Ezra project on the Disney Investors Day, and so I was a little hesitant. I was a little sad not to see that, because that kind of covered the next couple of years. But, right, maybe they're setting up for 2 or 3 years down the road. Then they introduce Thrawn and Ezra. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. But oh my gosh, I am so very excited. Maybe Thrawn and Ezra are those characters that kind of intermix between these 3 different shows. Maybe they are brought forth or brought into the forefront of our stories, our storytelling through the Ahsoka TV series. Then they make some appearances in The Mandalorian. Maybe they're found in the Rangers of the New Republic. We don't know. We do know Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are both in charge of those 3 television shows. And, I mean, I'm stoked, guys. I'm absolutely excited. This is huge news. What do you guys think? I mean, am I nerding out over something that may not be, that's not legitimate? Am I nerding out over something that quite possibly is the wrong choice for Thrawn? I mean, there's a lot of great potential. I think Jason Isaacs would do an amazing job. He did the voice of the Grand Inquisitor. He's a great bad guy. And I don't know. I see Thrawn. I totally do. I see Robert Downey Jr. I could totally see Thrawn. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the section below. In the section below, you will always find 2 links. One to the Going Nerdy swag store, and two, and more importantly, if you have not read and or listen to the Thrawn audiobooks, I 100% recommend it. Find them at your local library, find them at your local bookstore, I don't care. But if you want to listen to the audiobook, try Audible for free. 1 month, 2 free books. You can get the first 2 books. Thrawn, which would be the new Thrawn, right? And then Thrawn Alliances, great books, guys. Absolutely wonderful. Try them for free. 1 month, 2 free books. Quit within a month. You keep the books. You don't pay a dime. Let me know what you guys think. If you've read the books, leave a comment in the section below. Tell me what you think. Are you as excited about this as I am? This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, my friends, smile and stay nerdy.